Our president is far more implicated in the Epstein files than we previously thought.
Oh.
This is according to a Wall Street Journal article. The Justice Department told Trump in May that his name is among many in the Epstein files. A lot of people are going to tell you, oh, that's old news. We knew he was in the flight logs. We knew he was in these phone records.
Knew that.
But that's not what we're talking about. Those were already public.
Yeah.
Jeffrey's black book, that was already out there. This is a new review of documents that we're talking about. We're going to go through all of it. And we're going to start with Trump actually being asked directly if he was told by his attorney general whether he was mentioned in the Epstein files, and he says, no.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the files?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing.
So there we have Trump denying being told that his name was in the Epstein files, but a lot of people were wondering, well, then why are you acting so weird with these files?
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
It's pretty boring stuff that were made
He
up.
is acting weird, bro. Like, if he's not guilty, he's sure doing a good job acting like he's guilty. He's doing a great job acting like he's guilty.
By Obama.
Luckily, we unearthed an interview where Trump actually hints to the fact that he was in fact told that he was in the Epstein files and it was all fake stuff.
They've been running these files. And so much of the things that we found were fake with me.
Now, that file review is going to be separate from what we talked about with the flight logs, the black book, things like that. According to the Wall Street Journal, when the Justice Department officials reviewed what Attorney General Pam Bondi called a truckload of documents.
Coffee's extremely biased against Trump. Take whatever he says with a grain of salt. I mean, I don't know whether he is or not. I mean, I just think in my opinion, it's not about Trump. Like, it's a lot bigger than Trump. Trump is just like, it's just one person. Like, it is an indicator of a commutation of justice and like a lack of justice. That's really the problem. That's really the issue. Trump is like one part of that. It's not the main thing.
Related to Epstein earlier this year, they discovered that Donald Trump's name appeared multiple times, according to senior administration officials. So, if you remember phase one, right?
Yeah.
Phase one was a big scandal because Pam Bondi released these files,
and
but it turned out that these files were an incomplete list of mostly already released stuff. So what did she actually release? Well, she released the flight log and she released the contact book. Then what happened? Well, Pam Bondi, super embarrassed, reached out to Kash Patel and said, hey, I need a bunch of new files. This is not enough. Give us more. She went on Fox News, started talking about, oh, I've got this truckload of documents that is separate from the flight log, from the black book, that we're going to review and release to the American public.
Looking at these documents going, these aren't all the Epstein files. You know, there were flight logs, there were names and victims' names. And we're going, where's the rest of the stuff? Yeah. So based on that, I gave them the deadline, Friday at 8, a truckload of evidence arrived.
Will everything else be made public?
It's always about protecting the victim. But you know what? We believe in transparency, and America has the right to know.
So there we clearly see there were...
Total bullshit. Total bullshit.
Two separate reviews that happened. First, there's the disclosure in phase one of kind of the stuff everyone knew. And then Pam Bondi goes, oh, we got a truckload of new documents. We're going to review those and release those. And that's the review that flagged a bunch of times that Donald Trump's name appeared in here. And that's when they changed their story. Why is this a big deal? Previously, the appearance in the flight logs and the black book were the only appearances we really had of the president. There were
a lot of people that were in the flight logs that probably weren't implicated in any bad behavior. Like, I don't even understand why this is even being discussed. Like, Jeffrey Epstein was like a massive socialite. He interacted with everybody. It's not like just because he interacted with somebody means that they went to his island to fuck kids. It's like it's such a red herring. I don't even understand why it's being discussed. How is it that you have 10,000 hours of footage, but you're not able to identify anybody in that footage?
Nothing else related to Trump there. It's also notable because Senator Dick Durbin said that the FBI was explicitly instructed to flag Trump's name if it came up in the files.
Attorney General's pressure on FBI to quickly review and produce more Epstein documents as promised. These officials were told to, quote, flag any records in which President Trump was mentioned.
Right. They
would
had
they
a
say
new
that?
review
Why would
where
you say
thousands
that?
of FBI agents combed through these things, flagging the president's name anywhere it appeared in this truckload of new documents.
It's like, you know, for a fucking fact. And here's what's so weird to me about this is that, like, Epstein died in 2019. That means that Trump had over a year to, like, get rid of any of this stuff. So by the time that Biden took office in 2021, anything that was super incriminating could have been already removed. He died? I mean, I think he died. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Whether he killed himself or somebody killed him, I'm pretty sure he's dead, right? I mean, do people think he's alive now?
And that is what we're talking about here. These are new revelations, new pieces of evidence about our president's possible involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, what are these files? That's what we all want to know, right? Unfortunately, it's being heavily covered up and heavily blocked. Obviously,
Nobody's
one
talking
answer
about
is the
this.
Wall Street Journal's prior reporting on this letter that Trump supposedly, allegedly wrote to Epstein, which talks about a secret that they both share. It's worth noting that the president said he was going to and then did sue the Wall Street Journal over this. He's seeking $10 billion about this. But
I don't know. Like, I didn't really cover that. It's hard to say. I mean, if he's automatically coming out guns blazing suing them, like, I probably assume the letter's bullshit. But, I mean, I guess we're going to have to find out.
the most interesting thing about the case is that the Wall Street Journal, its original claim was that this birthday book letter was all in the DOJ's possession earlier.
Yeah, somebody says Trump's name appeared has no meaning beyond optics. We don't know squat. It's just red meat for the rabble. I think you're totally right. I think that they're intentionally leaving it to be opaque and abstract on purpose in order to bait people into coming to the conclusion that his name appearing in the Epstein files implies guilt. I think that's very clearly what they're doing. Like, mainstream media, clever? It's not really. It's basic, like, surface level manipulation. But I think it works with most people.
It would have been part of
They're
this
dumb.
truckload of new evidence unless it was destroyed. And so one of the best ways to disprove or prove the existence of this thing would just be opening up the Epstein files.
Exactly.
Which is part of the reason it's so sketchy that they're not doing it. If you're saying that this reporting is false, if you're saying that this birthday book did not exist, then why not just release the files where this birthday letter was supposedly contained? In fact, in this story, we actually have breaking news. Epstein's victim's lawyer now says that the estate of Epstein are actually in possession of this birthday book containing Trump's letter and would be willing to turn it over to authorities. So we'll have to see where that goes.
Possession of that birthday book.
The executors of this estate are in possession of that book.
So already, if true, not only is that a kill...
Oh, wait a minute. That's two separate things. He said they're in possession of the book. Does that mean the letter is in the book? This is the kind of language. See, this is the kind of shit that people get away with because nobody knows English anymore. Every single time they use these words, and these people are not stupid, but they think that you're stupid, and that's why they talk like this.
Shot to this lawsuit, it also proves that there's new mentions of our president in the Epstein files, which are now being covered up. Another big part of this cover-up story has been our government literally shutting down early to avoid a vote.
Shut it down!
On the release of the Epstein files. This is because there were a bunch of representatives ready to vote actually in a bipartisan way on the release of the Epstein files. And a lot of Republicans...
Which, by the way, one of the guys, Ro Khanna, I think that's his name, who was like trying to tack on the Epstein release onto some bullshit crypto bill. I criticized that pretty heavily, but then afterwards he came up with his own separate legislation that was supported by also, I think, Thomas Massie as well, and to have it released as an independent line item, and I totally support that. I think that I don't like the tacking on bullshit to a bill in order to try to score political points in order to like, oh, well, there's this massive defense bill spending, but there's also cancer kid research, so if you decline it, then you hate kids with cancer. Like, that's obviously manipulation, and it shouldn't work that way. But at the same time, I do think all of the information should be released. In my opinion, I think release everything. Release everything, And the only reason why I think that they shouldn't is if they have genuine 100% certainty that it was altered or something was inaccurate and made to be inaccurate.
Splintered off from the party line of not releasing it,
withholding it?
backing the president. Speaker
I mean, again, like Biden withheld it for 4 years. Trump withheld it for 1 year whenever he was the president the first time. Like, this isn't like this is a partisan issue because Trump made it a partisan issue by running on it and talking about it a lot, and then putting people in his cabinet that were adamant about releasing it, like Kash Patel. And also even J.D. Vance said to release it, his vice president, on Theo Von's podcast. So, like, it's not a partisan issue, but Trump has made it a partisan issue.
Johnson, because he was fearing this, announced he was cutting short the week's legislative business and sending the House home early for the summer to avoid having to hold votes on releasing the files. I can't think of something more sick than stonewalling the release of files related to a trafficker to try to protect the people implicated in it. I can't think of something more disgusting, except for the hypocrisy that it also represents, because previously the same guy went on Benny Johnson's show, a conservative commentator, and said he was totally open to releasing the files and would vote on it.
Subpoenaing the Epstein documents from the DOJ, whether you would support.
We saw this.
I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. Look, Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well.
I don't.
We should put everything out there and let the people decide it.
Right. We should trust the American people until it's time to release it and actually vote on it.
Yes.
And then you shut everything down early to avoid it.
Convenient.
Now, later, Mike Johnson came out and said he doesn't want to be lectured on transparency by the Democrats who didn't release the files when they were in power. And you see a similar line coming from the White House.
Which is true.
About this.
Democrats have now seized on this as if they ever wanted transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, which is an suggestion for any Democrat to make.
Now, to this, I just have to say, yeah, they're scoring political points now, saying release the files, just like you guys scored political points when you were the party that wasn't in power.
Exactly.
We need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
But the people who actually care about this issue, we just want the files out. So you know a way.
This is what's so weird about it is that, like, I don't care about whether it's Democrats or Republicans that are implicated at all. I just want the files released, and I want the people that are in the files to be investigated. And I agree with whoever the fuck that guy, I think it was Tim Burchett, one of the congressmen here. He said we should hang him. I like that. That sounds like a really good idea.
An easy way you can prevent having the other side score political points by saying, hey, release the files.
Televise
you can actually do it. Instead, we have a bunch of performative stuff like this from AG Pam Bondi and the president, where right after the reporting on the birthday letter about Trump and Epstein's supposed secret, all of a sudden, like a snap, Pam Bondi comes out and goes, oh, we gotta...
Here's why, by the way, here's one of the reasons why I think it's kind of bullshit about the birthday letter, is that it wasn't a fucking secret. It wasn't a secret at all. It was fucking obvious that Jeffrey Epstein was getting it on with young girls. Trump just said it. So how the fuck is this a secret that they're whispering about whenever he's saying it in interviews?
We got to unseal the grand jury transcripts, despite knowing that there's almost zero chance of that happening. And of course, today we find out that it was denied because they had literally no grounds to do it. It's like not something courts do for a public interest. In fact, the irony of that whole stunt to pretend to be transparent was that the Epstein survivors, which supposedly these people care about so much, were not told, they were not informed that this grand jury information was going to be unsealed. So ironically, despite saying that they want to protect the survivors of Epstein, what they really want to protect are the third parties implicated in all of this, which is why they won't release.
They want to protect their own interests.
The Epstein files they could release right now,
100%.
Which is all in their possession, these thousands of documents that they have. In fact, the attempts to distract from the real issue of the Epstein files not being released, the cover-up that's clearly happening, it's actually been breathtaking. In fact, it compelled Trump to release 230,000 pages of documents on MLK's assassination, which I guess is fine.
That's good, but like, what about the whole fucking, like, an island, right? I mean, like, that's good. And hey, by the way, again, I said complaining about this and malding works, right? We've been malding. It's been working. Keep malding.
Can you
the files could be fabricated? Well, yeah, you're going to have to cross-reference them and verify their authenticity. Yeah, of course.
The conspiracy now? Why are all the conspiracies revealed decades later when we can't hold anyone accountable? But at the time the conspiracies may be happening,
you just answered your question.
All of a sudden it's, oh, well, no, we can't possibly do that. Now, there's another performative thing you should be aware of, and that's the meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell that's supposedly going to happen.
This happened today. We're going to talk about that after this.
Now says they're going to actually talk to Ghislaine directly. Quote, I have communicated with the counsel for Ms. Maxwell to determine whether she would be willing to speak with prosecutors from the department. This is confirmed by Maxwell's attorney, who says, I can confirm we are in discussions with the government and that Ghislaine will always testify truthfully. We are grateful to President Trump for his commitment to uncovering the truth in this case. Why is this deeply concerning? Because the idea had been floated that there would be a public testimony to Congress under oath by Maxwell. But this is not that. This is a private meeting with the same people who have been sweeping this issue under the rug the entire time. And what is Ghislaine really focusing on? What is she actually trying to get? She's trying to get immunity. We already know she's trying to get the president's attention and say, hey, you guys kind of screwed me. You wouldn't want to be seen as, not being a man of your word. We've seen those like vaguely threatening public statements by Maxwell. So what exactly are they going to get out of this? She's totally incentivized to clear everyone from this administration rather than get the truth out. Now,
He brings up a great point. And logically, there's no way that I can say that isn't true, especially if it's only being done by one party. I think he's right about this. That's true.
Say we actually have inside information on this because recently a bunch of world leaders have been meeting with not journalists, but get this, podcasters to talk about the world affairs of the day.
Yeah.
Podcaster Tim Dillon talks about his dinner with what turns out to later be J.D. Vance and some other people where they discussed the affairs of Epstein and stuff like that. And he floats the idea of Maxwell testifying.
Ghislaine must speak. She should testify before Congress.
Yeah.
A couple of the people at the dinner, again, it was a small dinner, 3 or 4 people.
As I said, my dream scenario. Trump makes mandatory attendance every member of the Senate and Congress. He has her testify in front of all of them. And before she starts, he locks the doors. And as she reads out the names, the police come in and they escort every person out of the room as she reads their names. Totally like Saddam Hussein style. Yep, the Saddam strat. That's right. That would be fucking insane. And hey, that would be crazy content, right? Insane content.
They said that is not on the table at the moment, but it's not impossible. Nobody's super jazzed about it.
So the administration appears to have told Tim Dillon in a private meeting that, yeah, we really don't love the idea of her testifying, but apparently they love the idea of meeting her privately to talk to her behind closed doors where we can't know what is said. Speaking to the only person who's ever been punished at all for Epstein's crimes and whose only incentive is to her.
I think that it's true that you shouldn't take her testimony as a fact. Like, you shouldn't listen to what she's saying like 100% and be like, okay, this is absolutely true and she's totally telling the truth. I think there's a good chance that she's lying about a lot of what she's going to say. Really, it's not about necessarily what she's saying. It's about where she tells you to look, if that makes sense.
Get immunity and get off the hook for all of this. So I obviously think this is a terrible idea. I think it's more of the same cover up. Until they release these files, they're finished. And interestingly, Tim Dillon, the guy at this dinner with the administration, actually said as much.
I think if they do not release everything they have, they are done. If they do not release, and I told them that, you need to release.
More than that, human sacrifices. And I mean it. if someone doesn't, if there are not at least a number of people that get implicated in this, the public bloodthirst will not be sated. There is a public bloodthirst for this. People want blood. And if he doesn't give it, they're going to be upset. Am I wrong?
Everything you have.
Yeah, of course. Doesn't
Blood
take
for
a
the blood god?
political
Yeah.
analyst to tell you you need to release the files. But of course, that seems to be the one thing they refuse to do. They'll do anything. They'll release MLK files. They'll probably tell you their aliens exist just to avoid releasing the Epstein files. And that is the actually most incriminating part of all of this. It has been the reaction, not the files themselves, that has made this look so bad. The unhinged response to just simple demands for following up on their word, saying they were going to release the Epstein files. Then it's, we looked. We found
need public sacrifices on both sides, too. I think we need as many as possible.
President's name a bunch, and now we're not going to show you what's in there. That makes us all assume the worst about what's actually in here. So ultimately, look, I just believe we should get transparency. Obviously, there's a lot we don't know here, but a lot that has also been coming out, and it all paints a much darker picture than we previously knew.
When you click pay in full,
I think that it's obvious that Trump is implicated in some way. I would be willing to believe that Trump had an idea that it was going on. I would not be immediately willing to believe that Trump was doing it himself. I would require more proof than that. But I do think that in the same way that everybody in Hollywood knew about Harvey Weinstein, everybody in music knew about Diddy, I bet everybody in this echelon knew about Jeffrey Epstein. I bet they all kind of knew that it was happening, but it was kind of like a hush-hush, let's not talk about this type situation. So, I would need more proof than that. And I don't think that them saying his name being in the files is problematic. But Coffee bringing up the fact that the FBI was directed to say if his name was in the files or not to him implies that, why would you do that if you weren't guilty? Trump knows that the public doesn't give a damn about the truth. There's the video. I've been watching CoffeeZilla's videos about this topic a lot. I mean, I'm really glad to see that, he's using his, investigative reporting skills on something. I mean, like as much as crypto scams matter, right? I mean, I think this is a much bigger fucking scam and it's a much bigger issue, right? And so, yeah, there we go. You watch his last one. I might look at it tomorrow, right? I mean, we're going with these one at a time, but this is the one that I've seen so far. And this is, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, make sure to give the video a like and give him a sub. I like this guy a lot. And I've been watching him for quite a while. This isn't even an investigation. It's just tabloid journalism. It's tabloid journalism. Yeah, well, tabloid journalism is better than cover-ups, isn't it? So if you don't want to have tabloid journalism, then maybe you should release the files and set the record straight. Problem solved. I'll be right back. It would be crazy, though, if they announced that there were aliens to distract people from this. The funny thing is, I think it would work. Anyway, so this is what happened today. They did interview her.
So, former Biden Chief of Staff Ryan Klain getting candid with the GOP lawmakers investigating what insiders knew about Biden's cognitive decline. Klain told them Biden appeared tired and ill at that fateful debate, but they never saw him take Ambien like Hunter Biden claimed. Klain also revealed that Hillary Clinton top advisor Jake Sullivan sounded the alarm on Biden's political viability months before he dropped out. Fox News contributor and GW law professor Jonathan Turley joins us now. Okay, so part of this is
we're just going to scout and give a fuck about this.
Charge. So, Professor, I want to get your take on another story, and that's the Epstein files. And it looks like the administration is taking this very serious. When you send the deputy attorney general to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, I think they want full control of this. This is what her brother is saying in a statement. She would be putting before a court material new evidence that was not available to the defense at her 2021 trial.
Why not?
Which would have had a significant impact.
Why wasn't it there?
On its outcome. Is she going to get something in return? I mean, there's really no motivation to talk with the feds unless she gets some type of deal.
Yeah.
What could that deal be?
Right, Lawrence, that's really the key question here. There is a thing called a 5K 1.1 motion that the Justice Department can file for cooperation to reduce a sentence. That's usually when someone is a key witness in the prosecution of a third party. The defense can also go to
I would do that 100%, by the way. I know people might criticize this, but as I said, I'm a utilitarian, pragmatic person. I would easily commute her sentence if it meant putting 10 other people in jail. Instantaneously.
court and ask for a reduction based on new evidence.
Easiest decision of my
but
life.
We haven't seen that. She was convicted and given 20 years. And so the question is, if there's something there, why haven't they revealed it
even more,
so
100,
far?
yeah.
The third possibility is a commutation, more likely than a pardon from the president, maybe at the end of his term, if she is a highly cooperative witness. So all of those are possibilities for Maxwell. The question is what she has. I was surprised in speaking with a member of the legal defense team.
Somebody says, no, she shouldn't get off. She was as bad as him. I don't deal in shoulds. I deal in effectiveness. Would you rather have 10 people arrested or 1 person arrested? I'd rather have 10 people arrested. Simple.
A couple days ago,
Simple.
when they said the
Common
reports
sense.
that she had been previously interviewed by federal and state prosecutors, investigators, was not true. That she had never been interviewed. Yes, and despite all of these past investigations. And
How is this, bro? Like, yeah, exactly. What are you talking about? You never asked her? What the hell is going on?
Scandal. I was really taken aback by that. So if that's true, she could be an untapped source of new information.
How do you
the
not
question
even
is,
ask
what
her?
is that information? Is it just salacious, or is it something more that would reveal criminal conduct?
Jonathan, this is new information for me, and so
they never even They never even interviewed her.
Me, but how do you prosecute someone without doing an interview? I mean, that's like investigative procedure 101.
Well, they're saying that she had interaction, no doubt, in her own prosecution. But when I asked whether she had sat down with investigators, and there were so many investigations on a state and federal level, and I said, are you saying that she was never called forth to give information either in the state or federal systems? And they said no, that she has.
It's just like, come on, man. Come on, you're not even trying to hide it.
Has largely been left untouched.
I refuse to believe that they're this incompetent. I don't think that this is incompetence.
These past investigations. So the question is, what does she still have? And also, why didn't she reveal it before? She had every motivation in the world, if she could trade something, to do so before she was sentenced to 20 years.
Wow. So part 2 is going to happen today. The Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, is going to go back to interview her. Now, he said after this interview, he'll decide if they are going to come to the public with the findings of that. So we look forward to hearing that.
I think that if they want to commit to earning the public's trust back, they need to have noted members of the Democrat Party be present during the interview. Because I think if it's only one party interviewing her, everybody is going to think that they're just trying to stack the deck against the people that they disagree with. Like, I'm not even saying that they have to live stream it. And I can understand why they wouldn't want to. It would be because maybe she would say something that is a lie, and then it could potentially destabilize everything because she said this, but it turned out to not be true. So, like, I understand the logical reason not to live stream it, but I don't understand the logical reason not to have both parties present to maintain a degree of transparency. I think you need
Turley,
that.
Professor, thanks so much for joining the program.
And so there it is, right? Or she can expose victims' names. Yeah, exactly. Like she could say anything that they could maybe not necessarily predict. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. I mean, I don't know necessarily whether this is going to happen or not, but let me see if I can pull this one up and if there's any new information about this. It might be the same thing, but we'll go back and look at it. More than 51% of people having power on the list. Well, I don't know yet. The funniest shit just happened on Yeet. Let me see here. What is this? Actually, I'll look at it. Well, it seems like this is probably about all the same stuff, right? Yeah, it seems like this is about the same stuff. So we'll see what happens if, what do you call it? If this stuff actually gets released, but it seems like right now that it's not being released yet. And so we're going to have to wait around and see what happens. So I'll look and I'll find out. And if there's anything else going on, Hollow Live. Oh, no. Uh-oh. I'll see if there's any of this stuff with this here. And where did it go? Is there any new information about this? I'm going to look it up right now. And provides Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the DOJ with information of 100... Wait, what? Hold up. What? 100 people? Oh my fucking God. That's an assload of fucking people. Okay, give me a minute. Let's look at this. This is brand new. With 100 people linked to Jeffrey Epstein. And also, by the way, people linked to could, technically, by definition, could also just be including victims as well. So don't get too excited, but we'll see what happens. 99 will be innocent? Well, I don't know. And David Oscar Marcus, Maxwell's attorney, said that she was asked about every possible thing you could imagine, everything. This was the first opportunity she's ever been given to answer questions about what happened. The truth will come out about what happened with Mr. Epstein and the person who's answering those questions. Oh, boy. The real question is, why wasn't she questioned before? Yeah, I wonder why. Anyway, let's see here. It gave details on 100 different people. Oh my God.
Sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell has ended. This as critics are calling for more transparency. New at 2, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's meeting with convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell has ended. This as critics are calling for more transparency in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Welcome back as we head into hour 2 of America Reports. I'm Sandra Smith in New York, and Bill, great to have you here today.
Great to be with you as well, Sandra. I'm Bill Malugin in Los Angeles. John Roberts has the day off. That meeting Sandra just mentioned just wrapped up moments ago. Maxwell was escorted back to the prison from the courthouse in Tallahassee. Her attorney said they had a, quote, productive meeting with Blanche, but details of their talks still remain under wraps right now.
How convenient.
All right, Fox Team coverage is at the ready. Chief legal correspondent Shannon Bream is live here in New York City, standing by with analysis. But first, let's get to our justice correspondent, David Spunt. He's got the latest from Washington for us. So, David, what else did Maxwell's attorney say?
It won't matter at this point because now the cat's out of the bag. If she gave them 100 names, that's 100 leads.
Well, he said a lot. We wish we could
think about it. If 100 names have already been given, that's at least 3 people that know about it. It's her, the attorney, and the person interviewing her.
Be in and hear what was said in the actual meeting. This meeting was a lot shorter than it was yesterday, but this was a 2-day event. Yeah. The highlight, though, it appears that her team wants a pardon. Watch.
Here's what's going to be really convenient. All 100 of the people are all going to be Democrats. Isn't that crazy?
We're going to take one day at a time. I know that's very cliche, but it's true because things are happening so quickly.
Wow.
We haven't spoken to the president or anybody about a pardon just yet. And listen, the president this morning said he had the power to do so. We hope he exercises that power in the right and just way.
But the president leaving the White House today was asked directly about a pardon or commutation.
Yeah, he didn't even he didn't even know about that shit. Like, obviously, right? And so anyway, Gil is saying rape minors too. Wow, what a surprise. And so this is the 100 people.
Plan to do with everything Ghislaine Maxwell told them yesterday and today. Her lawyer says she answered questions about roughly 100 people during her meetings with Deputy Attorney General and former personal attorney to President.
Oh, that's very different. Answering questions about 100 people, gave details on 100 people. Okay.
President Trump, Todd Blanche, CNN chief legal affairs correspondent Paula Reed is with us on this. She is tracking all of the details. Do we know anything else about what they discussed, Paula?
Well, we're learning a little bit, but there's still more questions than answers. We know the two sides met today for about 3 hours. After talking through the day yesterday, once again, her lawyer said she answered every question that she was asked. She did not invoke privilege. And when really pressed on exactly what she's being asked about, her lawyer said that they've asked about every single possible thing you can imagine, but then revealed that she was asked about maybe 100 different people. She answered questions about everybody and did not hold anything back. I think that's sort of the biggest headline we've gotten out of these meetings so far. He was also asked about, where he sees all this going. Let's take a listen to what he said.
We don't know how it's going to play out. We just know that this was the first opportunity.
Well, there it is. Dead man switch police. I don't know. Quick bait call. Well, I don't know. Release the interview? Yeah, I wonder what she said, man. I do. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, man, not a single state or federal prosecutor, including Marine Comey, ever bothered to interview her. I mean, if nobody interviewed her at all, gave DOJ info on 100 people, giving to her lawyer, no, I don't think that this is a... Like, in my opinion, I don't think this is as big as people are making it out to be, because they probably just asked about 100 people, and then she probably said yes or no to some of them, probably no to most of them. Now, this is what I think this is the probability, right? Is that she will probably not implicate Trump, because if she does so, then Trump will say that she's compromised and not pardon her. That's just probably how this is going to play out. So even if Trump is implicated, he's not going to be stated by her, because then she won't get a pardon. Well, the probability of her getting a pardon is extremely low, right? It's very uncommon, sure, bud. Well, no, I'm saying, if you were her, if you were in her position, wouldn't that be what you would do? Is that you give them the names of the people that, maybe obviously, if there's one person that is holding your freedom over your head, would you want to name that person as being a pedo? No, fucking obviously not. It's common sense. Obviously, she wouldn't do that. Anybody would do this just acting in their own... the way that I think is I put myself in somebody else's truth matters, not to her. Do you think the truth matters to her whenever she was sex trafficking a bunch of young kids? I don't think she cares about the truth. She doesn't care about anything. So, no, she cares about staying alive and existing and being able to do what she wants. Literal corruption? Absolutely. No, absolutely. I would be fine settling with at least some of them getting arrested. Now, I'm just being realistic and saying that I think that's the way it's going to play out. I do. Does anybody really disagree with this? Because I think that's the reality, is that the probability of her actually going and ratting out Trump is extremely fucking low. Yeah, it's self-preservation. Yes, exactly. Even if you were pragmatic, you'd leave Trump's name out, say Trump, nothing gets out, leave him out, everyone else goes to jail. Yeah, that's basically it. It's stupid, but we'll see what happens. And they asked her questions for 9 hours over 2 days. Holy shit, that's a lot. Oh my God. Do you think she mentioned the prince? I have no idea. No one goes to jail. You and I both know it. Well, hopefully there's a reason why they don't go to jail. And I would say what I would hope that reason would be. But we'll see what happens. She's not some echelon of truth. She's a pedo lying bitch. She is, but if she can provide proof for it, then it's important to make sure that we know what she's saying. If she wants any chance at a pardon, she won't implicate Trump. Yeah, exactly.